It's been a very hot one across southern Wisconsin. I'll talk about just how long the heat will last coming up.
Plus, the Monona Grove School District facing an $8 million budget shortfall. We look at the options left for the district. And later, the status of September's presidential debate is now up in the air as former President Trump prepares to visit Wisconsin this week for the first time since his convention. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thanks for watching. We begin with the weather, where the dangerous heat you felt outside today will be sticking around for yet another day. The heat might not also only be the only other issue tomorrow, as we may see some severe storms as well. For more on tonight and tomorrow's conditions, let's check your first one forecast with meteorologist Jacob Madison. Jacob?
Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable day, especially during those afternoon hours. But even right now, take a look at these current temperatures. The sun has been set for about 2 hours now, and we're still in the middle 80s, and the dew points are causing some very uncomfortable conditions out there. Now, the sun has set, which has made it a little more bearable, but still 80s across the board. Taking a look at the highs from today, though, 94 in Madison was 1 degree short of the record high of 95 for today, but upper 90s further west, 97 in Boscobel. That was the hottest point in our viewing area, but 96 in Prairie du Chien, Lone Rock, Wisconsin Dells. And tomorrow we're going to see very similar temperatures. There is another excessive heat warning in the forecast for tomorrow. For most of our area, heat advisory for the far northern counties, but it's still going to be pretty hot for you folks up there. This is from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. So looking at the actual temperatures, we are going to be in the 90s, but those heat index values will likely be above 100 once again. And as Eric mentioned at the top of the show, we do have another chance of severe storms. Now, looking at the current radar, most of southern Wisconsin will be dry tonight. The northern portion of our area, which is kind of central Wisconsin at that point, could see some of these storms right now that are in the northern portion of Wisconsin. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings right now, but this will miss most of our area. Looking at the forecast, it will be just on the northern edge of those of you in Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake County, but don't be surprised if you see a few rumbles of thunder around midnight. By the time we get to the early morning hours, though, on Tuesday, we are going to be dry until we have that chance of storms in the afternoon tomorrow. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Now, if you're looking to beat the heat, the city of Middleton is offering several cooling centers to the public. They include the police department, City Hall, and the Senior Center on Hubbard Avenue. City Hall and the Senior Center are open from 8 to 4, while the police department is open 24 hours. Stay up to date with the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has your hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. The Monona Grove School District is almost out of money. School board officials say a review of district finances found they've been operating in a deficit for the last 3 years. Armand Rahman breaks down how district leaders think they got here. And Armand, what do they plan to do next?
Well, Eric, the district will not use a referendum to fix things. That's what the school board president wanted to make very clear in a letter to the community. She says, quote, multiple failures in policies and practices over several years left the district's general fund today with about $2.5 million. That's just 4% of its operating budget. And according to the president of the school board, weaknesses in the budget first appeared in the 2021-2022 school year. The following year, another audit found money spent exceeded money earned by $2.9 million. Finally, last year, the deficit was $4.1 million. The school board president says there is no evidence money was collected for personal gain. So what's next? The school board says it is set to meet next week to approve an adjusted budget that includes a loan to cover previous debt and expenditures for the next several months. The district also plans to hire a new financial advising firm and auditor.
Armand, thank you. Now to continuing coverage from Sauk County, where the sheriff's office there is charging 9 students with disorderly conduct toward members of the Amish community. The students range in age from 15 to 17. Some are on the Reedsburg football team. Now, earlier this month, the Sauk County Sheriff's Office received reports of harassment towards Amish people, and about a week later, Reedsburg Area High School announced its football team would be canceling its first 2 games because of an investigation and also safety due to missing players. News 3 Now got reaction from the community.
Is that common in this area?
No, that's very uncommon. So Reedsburg is a very loving community and very supportive community. So that's very out of character for our community. So
I'm sure that probably pretty much everybody is dismayed.
It is very out of the ordinary. We are a strong community, and I believe most parents here raise their kids properly.
Now, the Sauk County Sheriff's Office also says there are no reports of any damages at this time. Now to Baraboo, where a police officer has resigned. 2 others are still on the force following an investigation into the distribution of cocaine. According to a release by the Baraboo PD, the 2 staying were found to have not committed any criminal wrongdoing. Meanwhile, Derek Birch resigned from the department prior to the completion of the department's internal investigation. The probe stems from the arrest of William Deppy. The Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigation is now also looking into the matter. A resident at the Dane County Jail was found dead this morning. Dane County Sheriff's deputies, along with jail medical staff, responded to an intake housing unit in the public safety building portion of the jail for a resident discovered unresponsive. They immediately started life-saving efforts, but they were unsuccessful. That death is under investigation. A Richland Center man is dead after a motorcycle accident south of Yuba last night. That crash reported about 5:12 p.m. along County Highway C. 35-year-old Joseph Palfrey was traveling north when he hit a bump in the road, causing him to lose control. Palfrey thrown from his motorcycle. Life-saving measures were performed, but Palfrey was pronounced dead at the scene. Former President Donald Trump back on the campaign trail, hoping to regain momentum following last week's Democratic National Convention. This, as the upcoming presidential debate in September is thrown into doubt. Skylar Henry now with more from Washington.
Former President Trump hit the critical blue wall state of Michigan Monday, linking his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, to the 2021 pullout from Afghanistan and the suicide bombing that killed 13 service members outside Kabul airport.
Caused by Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the humiliation in Afghanistan set off the collapse of American credibility and respect all around the world.
Earlier in the day, Trump laid a wreath honoring the soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, while Harris issued a statement saying they represented the best of America. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren was on the campaign trail for the Harris-Walz ticket in the battleground state of Wisconsin.
There is one and only one way to protect access to abortion, and that is to elect Kamala Harris as president.
Fresh off the Democratic National Convention, the vice president has begun preparing for the September 10th debate against Trump. On Monday, the former president suggested he might skip the debate over disagreements with the host network.
I said, why am I doing it? Let's do it with another network. I want to do it.
The Harris campaign is demanding the 2 candidates' mics be hot throughout the debate, unlike the previous debate between Trump and President Biden, which featured a mute button when either candidate was not speaking.
We agreed to the same rules. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on.
With 71 days to go before Election Day, Harris is looking to build on her convention momentum, embarking on a bus tour in the critical swing state of Georgia Wednesday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Vice President Harris's campaign says it has raised $540 million in just over a month and took in $82 million just last week during the DNC. Meanwhile, former President Trump plans to return to Wisconsin on Thursday to hold a town hall in La Crosse. There, he will listen to the concerns of voters and share what he calls his plan to make America affordable again. It's scheduled for 6 p.m. This is Donald Trump's first visit to Wisconsin since July, when he accepted the presidential nomination at the RNC in Milwaukee. And Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, will also be in Wisconsin this week again. Vance scheduled to speak in De Pere about 6:30 Wednesday night at a Marilux Family of Companies building. There, he'll talk about the economy, inflation, and energy. This will be Senator Vance's 4th visit to Wisconsin just this month. Today in Black Earth, Senator Tammy Baldwin made a campaign stop to speak with voters about the importance of the Senate race. Off the heels of speaking to a national audience at the DNC last week, it's an opportunity for Senator Baldwin to turn out the Democratic faithful. This is one of the first events she's held since Kamala Harris accepted the nomination. Janet Brandt, who works with a progressive group in Western Dane County, says she can feel a change in energy.
We're really excited. We thought it was just a wonderful get-together. You just need to have a shot in the arm once in a while, and right now we feel we've got the best candidates.
She describes the area around Black Earth as a purple part of the state, a key area where both U.S. Senate candidates may try to turn out votes. Senator Baldwin continues her campaigning in western Wisconsin tomorrow. Still ahead at 10, another day of dangerous heat. Jacob returns a complete look at your forecast. Plus, SpaceX prepares to blast off on an historic mission looking to push the bounds of space exploration. We're back after a short break.
Your child's confidence stems from learning and seeing clearly. At Shopko Optical, our professional team will help your child start their journey of confidence by providing quality eye care in a warm and comfortable environment. Schedule their back-to-school exam at shopko.com.
My day is packed. Client meetings,
patient rounds,
getting kids out the door.
But Eric Hovde thinks all women care about is Hollywood.
It's just deplorable. Sadly, with females, they spend too much time focused on what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, guess what, Eric Hovde?
We know you supported overturning Roe versus Wade.
And we know you'd vote for a national abortion ban, too.
Eric Hovde must think he knows better than us.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
How do you say welcome? With an entry door from Pella, of course. Say it with color, with class, with clarity, or with confidence. Choose from 3 materials and endless styles, plus every entry door is manufactured, installed, and warrantied by Pella for years of comfort and durability. Right now, you can customize your home for 0% interest for up to 60 months. Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series, gas, hybrid, or all-electric. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Make it Flex Buy on a new Ford F-150 and get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months plus $2,000 Flex Buy cash only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
This famous wood fence from the show Home Improvement had to have boards replaced 13 times in only 9 years. Our fences outlast wood 3 to 1 and are all backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. This month, save $1,000 on your project. Visit the website or call the number for your new fence today.
Experience Overture's 24-25 Broadway season. See the best of Broadway. Subscribe at overture.org.
I'm Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. America needs a commander-in-chief who's tough on illegal immigration. Kamala Harris fails that test.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Kamala was Biden's border czar. She supported sanctuary cities and taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. And she created the worst border crisis in American history. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Everyone's vision needs are unique. At Shopko Optical, our caring team of professionals will work with you to ensure your vision is at its best. Shopko Optical can help you experience every detail, color, and breathtaking sight in clarity.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is taking you beyond the barometer. Email your weather-related questions to firstwarn@wisctv.com, and our team of meteorologists will give you the answers on News 3 Now, live at 4. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
SpaceX is pushing the bounds of its space exploration. A 5-day mission named Polaris Dawn was originally slated to take off from Kennedy Space Center tomorrow morning. It's now been delayed until Wednesday due to a helium leak. This just days after an announcement that a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule will also bring 2 NASA astronauts who've been stuck in space for over 80 days. It'll bring them home in 2025. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest on both missions.
What do a billionaire, 2 engineers, a former Air Force pilot, and a couple of NASA astronauts have in common? They're all a part of 2 of the most exciting and risky missions in the universe.
Space is hard, and you better not mess it up.
A SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule is set for its next mission, called Polaris Dawn, a 5-day SpaceX private trip manned by 4 civilians. Jared Isaacman, the billionaire, his friend and the mission's pilot, retired Air Force pilot Scott Poteet, and 2 SpaceX engineers, Anna Menon and Sarah Gillis.
So Polaris is all about accelerating the technology development.
The crew is set to do roughly 40 science experiments, attempt a high-risk spacewalk, and test some brand new SpaceX-developed space suits.
We are all really confident that, some iteration of it is going to be worn by somebody walking on Mars someday, and that just makes it even more of a privilege to be part of it.
The 4 plan to travel as far as 870 miles from Earth. 620 miles farther into space than the International Space Station. That's where astronauts Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore are stuck after problems including the thrusters on their Boeing Starliner spacecraft stopped working. NASA announced Saturday that a SpaceX Crew 9 Dragon spacecraft will come to their rescue.
NASA always has contingency options.
The NASA astronauts now slated to return next February. Sherelle Hubbard, News 3 Now.
NASA has plans for the Boeing Starliner spacecraft to return to Earth uncrewed. For Tuesday's Polaris Dawn mission, the goal is to reach the highest orbit around Earth for a crewed mission. Well, this heat and humidity will continue into tomorrow. Check back in with Jacob, a complete look at the forecasts.
Yeah, actual temperatures will likely be back in the 90s, and those heat index values could be back to around 105 to 110. But we also are expecting a few thunderstorms. Now, not everyone will see the storms, and not everyone will see severe weather, obviously, but every single location in the ballpark. Now, I'll talk about the rain in a moment, but first I do want to talk about the temperatures. Today, we were in the middle 90s. Expect very similar temperatures for tomorrow, as there is that excessive heat warning in the forecast once again from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, there's a heat advisory for the northern counties, but still expecting some hot weather. It is advised to take it just as seriously for those of you under the heat advisory. And the alert day is going to continue as well, and it also will include the possibility of some severe weather, but the hot temperatures will be the more dangerous of the hazards, as the severe weather will likely be on the lighter side. So taking a look at the specific temperature forecast, we are going to be in the middle 90s once again. It's going to be right around 90 for much of our area. Dane County may be just a little bit warmer, but those heat index values, that is the bigger story. They are going to be back in the triple digits. Now, everyone could see the triple digits, but it is worth mentioning that areas to the east will actually see temperatures slightly more warmer tomorrow compared to today, whereas areas to the west will be just a tad bit cooler compared to today, but still very hot nonetheless. Those heat index values could get up to around 105, maybe even 110 at times. But looking at Wednesday, it is going to be a lot better, as we're going to have heat index values in the 70s. So it's going to feel a lot cooler, despite it still being a little bit warm, as temperatures could get to the 80s. So here are some tips to stay safe during the heat. Obviously, you know, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks. But this bottom bullet point is especially worth mentioning. Check on elderly and your pets. You know, you may think that if you're okay, then your pet's okay, but that may not necessarily be the situation, because asphalt can get up to around 150 degrees in these temperatures. And obviously, you know, the dogs don't have shoes on, so it is important to, you know, keep it easy on the pets as well in this heat. So as we take a look at the temperatures over the next 10 days, 80s from Wednesday through Saturday, but then we are going to be in the 70s for next week. And those 80s are certainly going to feel a lot cooler than today, because we also are going to see the humidity a lot less, which will allow the heat index value to be way less than today. So looking at the forecast for tomorrow, though, rainfall-wise, we are going to see dry conditions in the morning, but then we're going to see some of these pop-up showers and storms for the afternoon and evening. And each individual location will kind of be a hit or miss. We could see a brief period of very heavy rain, and possibly even a brief period of some severe weather, but for the most part, the majority of the day will be dry, which will allow those temperatures to really heat up. Could see some lingering showers and storms into the overnight hours Tuesday, but we are expecting dry conditions Wednesday morning. And although there is a severe weather risk tomorrow, it was mostly looking at wind and hail and will likely be on the lighter side. Total precipitation, as I mentioned, will be a hit or miss. We could see up to around an inch, maybe a bit more for some isolated locations, but for the most part, again, we're not expecting rain for a long period of time tomorrow. Now, as I mentioned, temperatures will slowly cool down throughout the week. We do have another chance of storms Thursday into Thursday night, but after Thursday, we're looking fairly dry, as 70s will return to the forecast for much of next week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. And the heat this week is affecting more than just people. As Jacob said, animals are equally dealing with the high temps. But what about our non-traditional pets, like chickens or goats that can't simply come indoors? We spoke with a local farmer who said they create areas of shade, keeping plenty of water around and installing fans in their coops or barns to keep the animals cool.
I think we're fortunate that we've got a lot of shade around, but if you do see them in distress, you got to get them out of the sun. And if you don't have shade, put some kind of tarp up or something that just covers them from the heat. And as I said, if you spray the ground, that kind of helps them stay a little cool as well.
And feeding them fruits and vegetables is also a useful tool to keep them cool and hydrated. And farmers are also keeping a close eye on these conditions. And this heat can be a bust for plant businesses as well. Today, Fitchburg Farms had to adjust its hours because of the extreme heat. Greenhouse temperatures can reach more than 120 degrees on days like today, causing employees to pay close attention to the health of their flowers.
Heat causes mums to bloom early. And so then if it throws off the timing of our mums, then that kind of like throws a whole other kink into the chain that we're not used to, because we, grow these for early September and those for mid-September and those for late September. But if they all pop at the same time, then we don't have inventory later in the year.
And you know how big mums are in fall around here. In fact, mums make up about 80% of the farm's fall income. The heat can mess with the timeline, but Fitchburg Farms says it's taking the extra measures to keep them on track in the heat. Fitchburg Farms says that its afternoon hours are closed from the public until Wednesday for now.
Still to come in sports, the MLB player that went to Appleton West High School and made Major League Baseball history today. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
It takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Get an 11% rebate on everything for your next project at Menards. Super fast vinyl plank flooring adds fashion and luxury to any room. It's waterproof and easy to install with an attached pad for added comfort. Capital vinyl plank is just $279 a square foot after rebate. Create your dream bathroom with Sterling tubs and showers. They'll fit your style and budget and are easy to clean. Get this ensemble shower for only $669.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
You work hard enough. Take a load off this Labor Day with new appliances from Brothers Maine. Celebrate the holiday with unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Haier. Don't miss out. Shop the Labor Day sale at Brothers Maine today.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
Looking for the best value in contact lenses? At Stanton Optical, score an annual supply of AccuView Oasis plus a free contact lens eye exam for only $189. The numbers are in. At Stanton Optical, you save a whopping $280. You're not going to find a better deal with the other guys. Now that's what I call value. Book your eye exam today. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
More lies from Donald Trump. The truth? On Kamala Harris's watch, violent crime went down. Her record as district attorney and attorney general? Locking up child abusers, online predators, and violent offenders, and shutting down international drug cartels. Under Donald Trump, a violent crime wave. And Trump ordered MAGA extremists to kill the bipartisan border security bill. Trump just talks tough. Kamala Harris is tough.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
It is officially game week. 2 words Wisconsin football has been waiting to hear since they last played on New Year's Day. According to Luke Fickell, while that near 9-month buildup is long, this week is the longest of the year. All of the work they put in between spring training and off-season lifting, fall camp, you name it, it all culminates to this week and the ability to finally test themselves out against another opponent.
Week 1 in college football is different than any other sport, I think, out there. Why? Because we have no real preseason game. We have no scrimmage, right? It's probably the only sport out there, the high-level sport, that you don't have some idea, some type of scrimmage, some type of competition with another group that you can, get a little bit of a better idea of where you are and how you do things and how you handle things. So it's always week 1 is a long week. When school's not in, it's even a longer week. So Friday can't get here fast enough.
And some of this excitement for the season opener was tempered earlier this week and confirmed this morning by Luke Fickell, which is the worst of the worst news, announcing that one of his senior leaders, James Thompson Jr., had surgery on that torn pectoral muscle that likely ends his season before it began.
It's a big loss. It's tough. And, a guy in his senior year that has been through so many things and has meant so much to us. I mean, obviously over his time here, but even in this off season, and our ability to continue to grow and do the things we want to do and, kind of really, put guys in leadership roles, and he's done an unbelievable job.
Tonight kicked off the second season of the Wisconsin Huddle, our 30-minute weekly sports show hosted by sports director Zach Hanley. Each week, he sits down with the Badgers' best players. This week's episode airs on Friday at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. This week's episode is with star running back Chez Malusi, and we can't wait for it to come out. And this is a first. Red Sox catcher Danny Jensen became the first player in MLB history to play for both teams in the same game. Let me explain. Danny Jensen, who went to Appleton West High School, was on the Blue Jays when they played against the Red Sox back on July 26. Well, that game got rained out and suspended. It was resumed today. And since, Jensen has been traded to the Red Sox. So he played for the Red Sox today, meaning that in the course of one baseball game, he played for both teams. That is certainly an MLB first. We will be right back.
Drugs, gangs, and crime are flooding into our communities. But instead of getting tough on the border, Senator Tammy Baldwin supported amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants, including convicted criminals. Criminals like an illegal immigrant with multiple DUI charges who went on to kill a Wisconsin father of 3 while driving drunk again. Tell Senator Tammy Baldwin no amnesty for illegal immigrants, especially criminals. Vote to secure the border.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month. Call 1-833-376-4999.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
These are real people seeking solutions to real problems.
I have plantar fasciitis.
Pain with my feet, my knees. Feet, knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I definitely feel the heel-to-toe walk.
I'm not feeling any pain, especially in my heel. That's where I always feel it.
I don't feel the knee pain. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Summer is for exploring, so get outdoors, kick up some dust, get muddy, or just find that perfect campsite. All from Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So act now to get an offer you'll love. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
Old windows? Compromise your home's comfort. Vinyl windows, a 1970s relic, aren't built for extreme weather. They warp and crack, becoming vulnerable to the elements. At Next Door in Window, we have the answer. Fiberglass. Our Ultrex fiberglass windows last up to 50 years, longer than any other window you can buy. And while other companies cut corners and never call you back, we've got your back. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
I was robbed. They tried to run me over with a getaway car.
He almost killed me right over here. He was laughing as he fractured my skull.
Amanda's attacker was an illegal immigrant drug dealer, arrested twice before, but released by San Francisco DA Kamala Harris.
If Kamala Harris hadn't let him out, this never would have happened to me.
Kamala put violent illegals, convicted felons, back on the streets.
Kamala just doesn't care about protecting people like me.
Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Chris Stanford, News 3 Now This Morning. Moving forward.
Tonight. Now brace yourself. Billie Eilish takes the Colbert Questionnaire, plus Community Calendar with Sean Hayes. Tonight on CBS.
Finally tonight, the jersey that Babe Ruth wore when he hit one of baseball's most famous home runs sold for more than $24 million. Ruth was wearing this jersey when he played against the Cubs back in the '32 World Series. It became known as the called shot because he appeared to gesture towards something in center field just before hitting a fifth-inning home run into the bleachers at Wrigley. The sale of Ruth's jersey makes it the most valuable sports collectible ever. What was it? $24 million. Crazy money on that. Have you seen the picture of that?
Yes.
You can barely kind of see if he's really, pointing and calling a shot.
Incredible jersey. I don't know that I'd pay that much money, even if I had it.
Don't let anybody accidentally throw that in the washing.
It's just an interesting thing that you pay all this money for it's just a shirt.
It is. Thanks for joining us, folks. Have a great night.